I love Dandadan Season 1. It was beautiful, chaotic, and had some of the best music of any anime. And Season 2 drops July 3rd. So here's everything you need to remember from Season 1 episode by episode. We meet Momo, who comes from a family of spirit mediums. She breaks up with her boyfriend after he asks for money and sex, revealing her attraction was only due to his resemblance to actor Ken Takakura, her idol crush. Sulking through the halls, she defends her classmate Okarun from bullies. Okarun loves aliens, she loves ghosts. They get into an argument about the two, and to prove each other wrong, she explores a haunted hospital while he investigates a spiritual tunnel. Okarun gets chased by Turbo Granny, who steals his parts. Momo is abducted by aliens trying to take her organs. Okarun attempts to save her using Turbo Granny's powers. Momo awakens her psychic abilities from her grandmother and destroys the aliens. But they learn the curse won't lift until they confront Turbo Granny again. And Momo finds out Okarun's real name is Ken Takakura, her celebrity crush, leaving her shocked. She refuses to call him Ken and nicknames him Okarun. I don't have a crush on someone named Ken though, and Japanese R's are kind of tricky, so I'll just call him Ken, who nearly burns crossing Momo's Torii Gate because of the talisman she has on it. She kindly removes the talisman, which eventually lets in the Flatwoods monster, who's currently at the doorbell ringing for his banana organs. Okarun tries to fight using Turbo Granny's powers, but fails. Momo defeats the monster and ends up restoring the talisman, but Ken gets possessed and Momo collapses from exhaustion. Turbo Granny attacks, but Momo's grandmother Psycho saves the day with spiritual barriers. She burns Turbo Granny, but the spirit fuses with another. Momo wakes up, finds out Ken's alive in the shrine, and slams the door in his face out of flustered relief. Momo insists on helping him train for a spirit tag game, one they must use to defeat Turbo Granny. The grandmother teases Momo about her feelings for Ken and reveals Turbo Granny actually fused with another spirit, becoming even stronger. Turbo Granny briefly possesses him again and threatens to kill everyone. Psycho gives them practice clothing and sends them off on their way. They enter the tunnel. Turbo Granny appears as a giant head. Ken loses his powers and Momo begins a spirit tag game. And Turbo Granny ends up cheating and fully possesses him, but Momo traps her inside his body. And then a spirit crab shows up, they crash after escaping, and the two spirits fuse. Momo hooks onto a passing train, luring the fused spirit into a trap her grandmother set, which exercises it. The grandmother ends up revealing Turbo Granny once comforted the spirits of girls who died in that tunnel. At school, he's confused on how to greet Momo. He's unsure if they're friends or acquaintances, but he comes to find out she's already waiting for him outside. They talk on their way to class and try reconnecting later, but both get lost trying to find the other. They literally run by each other over and over. They clear things up later on, but this was seen by Momo's friends. And after denying their relationship and then arguing about it afterwards, he notices his balls are still missing. After their argument, he tries confronting Momo about this, but this was just really bad timing and she ends up pushing him away. Because without context, going up to someone and saying your balls are missing just isn't gonna work out. And then Ida is introduced. She seems sweet at first, but Momo ends up hearing her bragging about manipulating someone. Momo uses her powers to just smash her head. Turbo Granny is discovered hiding inside Ken. She offers to return his parts in exchange for killing Momo and Psycho. He refuses, transforms, and Momo makes a deal. Help him find his parts and she can have some power back. Turbo Granny agrees, but admits she lost them. And now they go on a scavenger hunt for his gold balls. And then they have to battle a giant crab again. Ida appears, holding one of the missing pieces, and is convinced that she is the chosen one to exorcise Momo. Everyone ends up battling inside of a warehouse where Silky shows up and eats them, then gets lit on fire and spits them out. They fight Silky to protect Ida. Okarun slams her into beams, they retrieve the gold ball, and learn Ida is actually dead. Silky offers her aura to revive her, revealing the tragic past of a struggling single mom who killed herself after her daughter was taken from her. Ida's heartbeat returns, Silky begins to vanish. As Turbo Granny warns her on her way out, she'll be forgotten forever. On her way out, Ida hugs her and calls her mother, allowing her to pass on peacefully. And this entire episode was peak. The animation, the story, everything. This show had been very chaotic and obscene, but this episode is the one that made this one of my favorite anime. They all head back for dinner, and Ida accuses Momo of being a demon, mainly because of what has been happening to Ken. But Ken is in his own head at the moment. He wants to be strong like Momo and realizes that by himself he's weak, so he ends up trading with Ida, who kisses him. He attempts to push her away but literally falls on top of her. And Momo, the scenes before this, saw this. But then the school gets flooded and they're pulled together into a water dimension with a dinosaur. The Serpo alien returns after Okarun's banana organ. Ida unlocks her new powers from Silky. Momo and Ken fight off the aliens. Nasty chases them through the flooded school and traps them. Ken tries to explain his feelings for Momo and what happened earlier, but is interrupted. Momo breaks the psychic hold and helps lure Nessie out of the water so they can finish it off. And after all of this, they appear back in their dimension naked in the middle of the school hallway in front of everyone. Ida admits she had to awake her powers and may now be a target for the Serpo. Ken finally gets a chance to explain everything to Momo about what happened earlier when she passed by. But rumors begin to fly, and Eider has to end up confessing what happens to avoid the backlash that was coming at Momo. Then a Dover demon appears and bleeds his way into Momo's house. Turns out he's just a broke alien dad and they have to get milk for his son. Gigi, Momo's childhood crush, shows up to her house, and Ken obviously gets jealous of their past. Psycho says Momo has to deal with the spirit herself since her powers don't work outside their area. She also hints that Gigi's spirit seeing ability might be linked to Okradun's missing Kintama. Momo and Ken were going to have lunch together, but were interrupted by Gigi bringing Momo her favorite snack. And then this model comes to life and bolts by them with something shiny, possibly one of Okradun's parts. They chase it to a junkyard and find out his name is Tardo, who is trying to save his love Hannah. And this story just makes Ken reflect on his feelings for Momo. They ask Psycho to let Hannah stay with them, then head to Gigi's haunted house to help with his curse. Momo's chilling at a hot spring before creepy men come and trap her, and Ken and Gigi find a hidden room at the house filled with talismans. And that's most of the things I think you need to remember before season 2. I love this show, easily one of the best openings in my opinion, and the art and music were just 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you thought of the season, and for more anime recaps, reviews, reactions, and seasonal content, check out the channel. Peace.